when you're a solo founder and you're rocking by yourself, you really need to be self-motivated. There's no way around it. If you can't be true to yourself, that is not a strength for you, you probably need a partner. Now, if you're just straight out lazy, you probably ain't gonna find no partner that wanna rock with you. But just being realistic that, sometimes you need that other person to just hold each other accountable. Like, oh, did you do this report today? Did you look up these vendors, or did you do your job? Just to be able to check each other. That's what makes a good partnership strong, and makes you guys just, keep growing and growing at a good pace that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the 9% Show. I am your host, Steven Burton, and here at the 9%, y'all know we keep everything 100. If I haven't done it, not doing it, or not about to do it, it will not come out my mouth. So, welcome everybody to the 9%. Like I said, we go take our toast to the 9%ers like we always do around this time. Toast to y'all out there, and those that want to get into the 9% club. Shouts out to y'all too. All right, so we are going to be talking about this week. Should you have a co-founder when you start your business? Is it required? Or co-founder, partner, starting a business, startup, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. I'm kind of give you some pros and cons about it. And I'm also tell you my story. And do I have a partner or co-founder or anything like that? Before we get started, before we go any further, please make sure you like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. It definitely goes a long way. Definitely helps the algorithm find us when you do those quick little things for us. So we really appreciate that. But now that I got that out the way, we go talk about these founders and co-founders and things like that. So for me, I am a solo founder. I started my business by myself. I grew the business by myself, and I still, right now I have employees and things like that, and a bigger team, but I'm still 100% owner in everything I do. So I definitely, as I go through these pros and cons about this, I definitely can kind of share my experiences as I go through these pros and cons, and to do that. I think overall, my biggest thing was that at the end of the day, for me, I ain't got time to wait on nobody. Okay, I've been gung-ho all my life. If I can't find nobody I want to go with, me personally, I'm not a big old rah-rah cheerleader type. I don't need everybody hyping me up to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the whole marching crew to go talk to somebody. I remember a funny story when the last time I worked at a regular job. I would go to my boss directly and come talk to him about, pay or whatever going on. I ain't had no problem doing that. But other coworkers of mine, they'll be powwowing like, oh man, we ain't had a raise in this long, or we ain't had this, man. Yeah, we need to go talk to. I'm like, I ain't got that problem. I'm up in there. So some people, or the wees. And for me, I've always it's been my personality where I'm just like, I'm gonna go get it, and I ain't got time to wait. Definitely, having a team and having partnerships and things like that, it helps out, makes life easy. But at the end of the day, for me, like I said, I ain't had time to wait. So that's my overall thing that kind of got me where I am today. But again, there's pros and cons to it, and we go talk about that. I will also say, I would say specifically for the startups out there is a lot of, and if you're trying to go the investor route and venture capital route, a lot of venture capitals will not invest in businesses that have a solo founder. They want you to have a co-founder, which is totally understandable. I mean, you're investing a lot of money into somebody. You want a team in place. You want to make sure you have a better shot at success when you have multiple people versus just yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. Whether you're a small business or just getting started, or maybe you have partnerships and you're like, okay, I don't know if this will work, or do I need it, or whatever the case may be. So that's what we go talk about. Okay, we go dive into these things. Let's first talk about the pros. Okay, I think one of the biggest pros is that you get more help. You have two people working, multiple people working, multiple founders. You could get more done quicker. I definitely felt the negative impact of that, of not having more help. It's definitely hard. I mean, I will say for me, being able to wear multiple hats and get a lot of things done. I'm good at a lot of different things. I'm great at a few things, but I'm good at a lot of different things. So with that being the case, I was able to do a lot of different things that needed to be done in the business, especially my first couple years, to just get it done and get it done efficiently. Now, if you aren't great at certain things, a lot of times when you find that founder, you'll find somebody that does things great that you don't do. Like maybe you're just really into the product or you're really into the service, what's going on, but you're horrible at marketing. You're horrible at creating processes. Then that's maybe your partner is like, they're giving the help on the side that you need the help on. Like you get somebody that's great at marketing, that's great, great at putting processes in place. And that's how you guys kind of like flow and work. I think those are the best type of partnerships when, your roles are defined and, it's like a perfect yin yang, like you guys just mesh together great. So definitely the more help, definitely is beneficial, okay? The next pro we're gonna talk about is that y'all able to, with partnerships, with co-founders, you're able to motivate each other. You're able to hold each other accountable. For me, I had nobody hold me accountable. If I didn't want to get something done, it just ain't gonna get done. Everybody, who go tell me something? If I didn't want to come to work this day, getting the work done, who go tell me something? When you're a solo founder and you're rocking by yourself, you really need to be self-motivated. There's no way around it. If you can't be true to yourself, that is not a strength for you, you probably need a partner. Now, if you're just straight out lazy, you probably ain't gonna find no partner that wanna rock with you. But just being realistic that, sometimes you need that other person to just hold each other accountable. Like, oh, did you do this report today? Did you look up these vendors, or did you do your job? Just to be able to check each other. That's what makes a good partnership strong and makes you guys just, keep growing and growing at a good pace that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. I think there's a great saying, I'm not even sure if I'm saying this right. If you want to travel quick, go by yourself, but if you want to travel long, do it together, or something like that. Is that the saying?
Yep.
Okay, I had it right? Okay, thank you. Yeah. I'm all, if it's wrong, we'll put the correct one at the bottom. They ain't come out that straight, but that's a true statement right there. Very true statement. All right, next pro we'll talk about is financial support. It's obvious, if you got more people, put money in the pot, try to get this dream off the ground, the better. With me, it was just me, and I had to figure out ways to make things happen. Heck, I still got to figure out ways to make things happen. So, and I remember, our interview with Shanita, who's a co-founder at Sip and Sonder, and we'll definitely put that link up here. But she had talked about the importance of her co-founder for mental support, for holding each other accountable, but also from a financial standpoint and just, not having to hold the burden all by herself. And so that's definitely true, and hopefully you get a co-founder or a partner that has good credit too. Y'all can apply things together. All that stuff definitely helps, or being able to apply for loans and, you can use both incomes and stuff like that. So that is definitely a pro of having, a co-founder or a partner. The last pro I'll talk about is just a broader network. When you have that partnership, it's not only your network that you have, you're bringing in someone else's network. And that stuff is valuable. Your network is valuable. Your relationships that you build is valuable. So people coming together, pooling their resources, all coming together in one pot to have a single goal, to make something happen, that is very helpful, okay? Again, myself, it was just me. And it was only as big as my network was. And my business network was non-existent. I didn't have nobody to bounce things off of. Things didn't change till I joined a startup accelerator program called Grid 110. And then from that, I was able to build a network and have a resources of people I could tap into, or ask questions to, or just have a Slack channel I could post something in and get a response. So just being around other founders and stuff and be able to tap into their network. So I was able to finally get that, but it took some years and it took some finding. But that is a benefit of having a partnership there. All right. So those are my quick pros with partnerships. Now let's talk about the cons. Okay, let's talk about, because it can be challenging with partners, and I'm kind of glad I did not have one. And one of the main reasons, I kind of touched on this at the beginning of it, but the biggest number one con I would say at first is that it's hard to find someone that shares your values. It is hard from a work ethic standpoint, maybe from a moral standpoint. It's like, I'm a hard worker, okay? And I can't be around nobody that's not working hard either. It's just, I can't mix with you. We're all in water. Like, cause I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. And then if I do it myself, I'm gonna be like, well, what I need you for? And then, it's very hostile. Or like, I remember I used to have this is how I used to, even when I was doing music back in the day and my grind for whatever I was working towards, I used to have this mantra of like, if I take 1 hour off, that's an hour away from my goal. And like, so if I'm not working towards it, I'm not getting towards my goal. Now that's a crazy way to think. There is life and work-life balance and all that type of stuff. But especially in my younger years, before I had responsibilities, before I had kids, whatever, man, if you was getting on my boat, okay, we was grinding, we was working. And if we could not get along if I didn't have that into you. And that was the biggest part of partnerships and founders. And a lot of times, and your friends, your family, the ones already that if you got an idea, you ain't about to run it by them, because they ain't responsible. They ain't gonna hold it down. Like I will say, most people know if they come to me with something, or if we go start something. What's a classic saying? If I tell you a duck could pull a truck, you better hook it up, okay? Because whatever I say, I'm gonna do it. But I have that reputation, and I feel like if I created a partnership now, more people would probably trust my work ethic. And I have people in my Rolodex that I know along the years that I've seen that work hard. And so it's a lot different nowadays. But just starting off, that is a con, because if you don't find that right person that shares your values on multiple things, y'all will not get along and it will not work, okay? The next con we're gonna talk about, first we're gonna get a little sip here. All right, the next con we're gonna talk about is disputes. How do you deal with disputes? You want to go left, they want to go right. Right now, I make all the decisions. I am the defendant, the prosecutor, and the judge, and the jury. Okay, everything. No matter what I want to do, I'm gonna do. I don't know how. I'm a pretty good team player, I think, and I think naturally I could work out disputes with people and things like that. But it's things you got to think about. Like a lot of people, when everything is all peaches and cream, it's all good. But you find the true about people when things aren't going good and there's decisions to be made. Like, how do you handle those decisions? And a lot of times you need partnerships agreements to be able to you need it written down on contract to say, this is how we're going to resolve issues. If it's 3 people, three founders, 3 co-founders in a group, maybe majority rule. So 2 out of 3, and that's what decision you make, or however you figure it out. Or but though that is something to really think about, is like how you gonna handle things, the decisions that need to be made, whether they're big, small decisions. Like who's gonna make that decision, and what happens when you guys have a difference of opinion. Something to think about. The next con I would say is just having to create that legal partnership. Again, I just mentioned about, partnership agreement, right? You're having an LLC and, you need members of the LLC and all this type of stuff. It's a lot more that goes into, I wouldn't just start a business with somebody on a handshake. Like y'all need to have a contract, an agreement, clearly defined roles, clearly defined who's responsible for what, just for all the details. And it kind of leads me into my next point where I'll share with this thing, because you also need to find out, which could be a con, is the equity split. Do you want to give maybe this was your idea, maybe this business or the product, your service was your idea, but then you get a co-founder, it's like, okay, how much do you want to give up? And having that conversation. And then, maybe you invested all the money, but someone is putting in sweat equity. And, who values what? Is it 50-50? Should you own 55, 40? How are you going to figure out that equity split? That can break up a lot of partnerships before you even get started. I truly believe that I feel like most things, I feel like it's kind of, I feel like if you have people putting in, that have skin in the game and actually putting in money for your startup thing, it's kind of simple. I think whoever puts in the most money, gets the majority type of stuff. Possibly if you're working purely on that, because it's almost like somebody buying shares into the business or something like that. But if you both ain't got no money and you're both pulling together whatever pennies you have and there's a lot of sweat equity going on, it's probably given to be 50-50. Or if that yin yang and you do the product, they do the marketing, however you see fit. But those conversations and giving up equity, sometimes people start businesses. Again, if you're trying to go the VC route and they're requiring you to have a co-founder, sometimes people, there's co-founding meetups. There's a speed dating for co-founders. It's a lot of stuff that goes on in the startup community. But sometimes you might have a co-founder that you're not necessarily, you don't know that well. And so, or you might get introduced to somebody that's in your field or where your startup you're trying to start that's in that industry, and they're like, okay, you guys could work good together. How much do you want to give up of your idea if you started it 100% yourself and you've been working towards it and you just finally need to get that co-founder? So it's a challenging decision, and we'll see. But I'll put that on the con side because that could be who wants to give up some equity. But and then the last con I would say is like slower decision making. Kind of goes into like disputes, but not necessarily like the dispute like everything got to be bad, but like, how is decisions being made and it slows up the process. Right now, I make the decision, we go with it, we run with it. But I'm also on I volunteer at my church and I'm on the media marketing team at Valencia Christian Center. Plug, if you're ever in Valencia, California, come through our church. But it's a team atmosphere from there. And it's like, I can't just say, this is what's being done. It's got to get approved by somebody. Got to go over here. Do my other team members feel the same way? So it's not as quickly as to get an answer for some certain things. So it's slower decision making. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? It just depends on what the decision is. Like if you need a fast decision. So some people like to be up all night. Some people don't. What if your co-founder like to go sleep at 10 p.m. and you up to midnight, 1 a.m. waiting on a decision, and you gotta wait till he wake up in the morning. So, whatever flows good with you, that's what you gotta find in that co-founder or that partner. So, those are my pros and cons there. I think if I could do it over with my business, I think I would prefer to have a co-founder. I would prefer to have a partner because it's really hard doing it by yourself. I can't fake the funk there. It is really hard. And you also have to be a certain way and really be self-motivated, just knowing you can get the job done yourself. Like you have to be really honest with yourself. Is that in you? Because if that's not in you, you need to be honest enough to know like, okay, I need this supporting piece or whatever the case may be. Now, if you can't find that founder, you can't find that co-founder, like I said, I did it, so I'm pro moving by yourself, but you have to move smart. You have to know what's your skill set. Again, I'm good at a lot of different things. I'm good at digital marketing. I'm good at some digital design, some web development, the product or service. I know so many different things that I do pretty darn well. So I was able to do a lot of things in-house. If you don't have all those skill sets, again, it might force you to say, I need a partner, because if not, you're going to burn yourself out even faster than you can burn yourself out, because burnout is real, period. But so I am pro partner, co-founder. I definitely get it. But if you like me out there and you ain't got time to wait, hey, do what you got to do. So there we go. That's our episode for this week. Please, again, like, subscribe to our channel. If you found some value in this video, please share it. Send it to your network. Do something. Leave a comment. We love all the feedback about this show and encourage it to come, because we just want to know how we could do better, what we could do more for y'all 9%ers out there, or for those that want to be in the 9% club. Until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.